Things are not going phenomenally for our boys in white over there. Iran seized a UAE-owned tanker near Keshem in the Strait of Hormuz. Really? Seized it? Iran hasn't had the ability to seize anything. They're just straight up boarding it now? Jesus Christ. Based? A little bit. Seized without a navy, with 100% of their military taken down. God damn. Live update. Trump calls concerns about conditions on USS Lincoln fake. It's all going really well for our Navy. USS Benfold, a guided missile destroyer, lost all power for 4 days in the South China Sea after a generator failure on July 24th. A crew of roughly 300 had no working toilets, air conditioning, kitchen, or water systems in extreme heat. The ship drifted powerless until tugboats towed it to Subic Bay, Philippines, where power was restored 6 days later. Another warship in the carrier group had to provide cooked meals. It's the second U.S. destroyer to suffer a power failure in the Indo-Pacific this year. Oh my God, man. Omni segment? It is! It is the Omni segment. It is! Oh my God. 6 days is crazy. 6 days after it was towed. Worst time to be in the military? Buddy, if you think right now is the worst time to be in the military, I promise you, it's not going to get better anytime soon. They had to lean off the edge with their butt to poop? Probably, yeah. Yeah. If all the toilets are backed up, you just have to shit off the edge, you know, like a seasick passenger throwing up over the edge of the deck. Not gonna lie, that sounds fun. Yeah, a little bit, kind of. I could see that. The MOU officially expired. Also, Yemen apparently attacked a Saudi landing ship and 4 boats accompanying it. Okay, man. Speaking of Iran, they're going on the offensive. Yup! Iran has officially decided to shift its policy from defensive to fully offensive, set a new deadline for Trump, and realized the mediators are working for Trump. Wow, really? Iran has set a deadline of a few weeks for the full implementation of the MOU and all Iranian demands for the U.S., with the Iranian officials saying it's a proven fact that the U.S. is not serious about a ceasefire. Da-di-da-di-da, you know. Nothing's getting better over there, but unfortunately, in a lot of cases, this is such a slow burn that the average person probably hasn't. This is the problem. And this is a problem caused in large part by American treatlerite-ism, where the conditions of living over here in the United States are so good that you can keep lying to people about how bad they're getting, and people will believe you because they're still tolerable. Case in point, Fox News graphic just straight up lying about what the national average gas prices were 1 year ago. According to this, the gas prices didn't rise at all after the Iran war. We were not at war with Iran 1 year ago. Fox News is just straight up lying about. I mean, I know Fox News lies. Well, what a surprise. But seriously, like, this is the reason why we keep coasting by as things get worse and worse. And what the hell? Elon, what is this? I didn't even touch anything. That was just the website doing it on its own. Vibe coded Lamau. Yeah, I guess. Okay, did we fine? Chewing on the damn wires over there. Well, at any rate, it's the reason why we're able to coast by like this for so long. National average per gas buddy a year ago. Yeah, there we go. That looks about right. God, look at that. Such a distinct. Yeesh. Fox, our beacon of honesty, would never lie. I know we've all gotten accustomed to like a really overt level of dishonesty from the right, but it is worth remembering that as recently as the Obama administration, Fox News would not lie, you know, this directly. Like, this is a little bit beyond the pale, in my opinion. UAE appears to begin shuttling LNG through Hormuz. Okay, that's great. You know, if we're going to cap off like our little update on how things are going vis-a-vis the oil crisis, Iran, Strait of Hormuz, etc., you guys have seen this one, right? It's allegedly a picture taken of some military vehicle. I'm not sure what exact type of plane it is. I don't think that's necessarily relevant. But in dust, soldiers have is that in dust? It's kind of in dust. Yeah, it looks like it. They've drawn all kinds of wacky stuff here, you know. Suck wieners and balls. That's just classic, you know, military business right there. Be a good goy and do what Israel tells you to. Operation Epstein Fury. Peace deal number 64 coming. I love Israel. I am a good goyim. Good stuff. I wonder who these people voted for. And I guess this sentiment's pretty bipartisan these days. The median 18-year-old in America talks like this. Oh boy. Shut the fuck up. They didn't vote. Oh yeah, I guess they wouldn't have voted, probably. Glad they played tic-tac-toe and hangman. Seems like they had fun. I want to believe they're having a good time over there. 18-year-olds are all Nazbols. Yes, this is true, but it is worth remembering that, like, at this point, sentiments like this are essentially, I wouldn't say they're apolitical. They're definitely not apolitical, but they're definitely bipartisan. Is the G word a slur? Only for us, but you guys still can't use it. You're still not allowed. That's how unfair this is. We're not even allowed to use our own slurs. That's how skewed the dynamic is. So many chatters got blipped. They got off easy. Unlike our boys in blue, or white, or green, whatever.
I mean, how weak are you on TV complaining about tuna and noodles? I'm sorry. You volunteered to serve your country. You can come back, get out of the military, and do like all of these Democrat veterans and complain about it and make commercials and be a sellout if you want to and come up with a new way of doing things. The last Democrat president that I remember that was deploying troops, Barack Obama, had the army going to Iraq on patrol bases.
This guy lost his legs for Israel fighting the Taliban, by the way. Wait, really? Does this guy not have any legs? That's really funny. That's true? Okay. All right. Yes, really? Okay. Okay. Go around and find out. That's so funny. Man, remember how I told you guys that, because there were people delusionally arguing that things would patter out when consequences started to hit Americans, but then I said, like, chat, you have to understand, to the global elite, we're all Indians. Like, people are like, oh, climate change disasters hit India or the Philippines or whatever, but like, once it starts to kill Americans, it's going to be different. Dog, to them, we're all Indians. Like, there's no, the distinction between ethnic, racial, national, whatever groups is utterly meaningless in the face of the true overwhelming power discrepancy between the oligarchs and everyone else. That's the actual line, you know? I promise you they don't care. How much news have you even heard? What was it? Which was the hurricane that devastated North Carolina? It hit Florida, Alabama, South, and North Carolina, and then there was that, what was it called? Helene, yeah. Hurricane Chud. All hurricanes are Chuds. You know, a significant portion of the United States got really fucked by that storm, and they haven't really recovered since, and a lot of it is white areas. You're like, oh, once white people start suffering, nah, dog, they don't give a fuck. We're all proletarians to them. Nobles back in the day married foreign nobles all the time, but never married local peasants. Class trumps nationality. Always does.
For 15 months at a time, eating MREs. I'm sorry, but you're a sitting duck on a patrol base in Iraq, in Afghanistan, a heck of a lot more than you are on a fortified Navy ship sitting in the water. You might have got bored, and I'm sorry. We did have more fun getting in firefights, I'll say that. But to sit there and say that it was terrible because you had a corn dog and a hot dog, I would have traded a block of C4 to the Taliban for a hot dog by about July 2000.
Okay, yeah, I think he may have gotten his legs blown off. I feel like that might be what he's referencing right here. Kind of like, you guys sort of set the stage for this reveal.
2010, I just do not understand the mentality. If this is a representation of who our military is now, and I'm not saying...
You know, you find out whose legs got blown off by the Taliban? Don't worry, they'll tell you. I wish I could have traded that C4 me and my truck buddies drove over for a hot dog. What the fuck are you talking about, dude? Shut the fuck up. You sound crazy.
It is, but there's at least enough for some of these trash rags to print about it. If this is who we are, we're just Rome sitting here waiting to burn. We've got nothing left.
Like, what the fuck is he, what is he talking about?
It makes me it makes me fume. If he sat there and said, we didn't have any clean water to drink, we couldn't take a shower. I mean, well, I didn't get to take a shower for about 6 months, but still, you know, something.
Oh my fucking God, dude.
That has something to do with hygiene or, you know, like getting sick. There was a scurvy outbreak and, you know, the guys that were missing legs were only given wooden pegs instead of metal ones. Then maybe I might have some sympathy. But to that little kid and whoever raised him, Lord, help you if you ever go into a hot war on the ground.
You know this shit is such a knee slapper for all the fat retard American boomers who never actually went to war but like to pretend they did. It's like how all old British people act like they survived the Blitzkrieg, even though they weren't like around for it. Like they all act like they fought off the Nazis. Classic with Americans too, you know? I mean, like Trump, right? Trump dodged the draft, you know, bone spurs. They love to do this shit. They love it. Why do all conservative arguments boil down to, I suffered, so you should too? Well, because the other argument they have is, I haven't suffered, but you should anyway. And this one's a little bit more convincing.
Like millions of Americans have. I can only think what a World War II veteran sitting there who's lucid enough today to see that and
Like,
think about the 6-month journey home from fighting the toughest war we've ever fought after being there for 4 years was thinking, listening to him complain like that. The Secretary of the Navy put out his response. That's my response. End of story.
crazy how quickly we became like the Russian military, dude. Because, you know, I know a lot of this gets eaten up in internal comms, but you know that like 99% of signing up for the Russian military is getting raped by your bunkmates, stealing jet fuel to drink on long nights, and just like probably not taking showers or getting good food. It's all self-inflicted. Honestly, the Ukrainian drones are like a blessing to them, right? Every Ukrainian drone potentially frees a Russian soldier from their torment. That's like the punctuation mark at the end of a long, sad sentence. These are the people who hate that they have to pay Vietnam vets healthcare for all the Agent Orange. I mean, these people wouldn't even fucking give money to the 9/11 first responders, dude. They're so evil. They're so fucking evil. There are literally thousands of videos out there posted by the Russians of them beating fellow comrades to death for minor infractions. Guys, no matter how bad it gets for you, I swear, please do not join the military. I don't know if there's any like 17-year-olds watching this right now who are like, I just have to make it through. I just have to get free college. Don't. Just don't do it. Just don't do it, okay? Just don't do it. Just don't do it. Fucking ridiculous, man. Speaking of ridiculous, yeah, hold on 1 second. There have been a lot of suicides in the Navy recently? I don't know what the numbers are in that. Another ship is fucked, by the way. Fucked like what? A family member of a sailor aboard the USS Carl Vinson says the aircraft carrier does not have warm water to shower and the water fountains have been turned off. It's difficult to see everything unwind from the perspective of a civilian, but if you work in military logistics, like, there are probably a billion ways in which everything is falling apart right now. You know what I mean? The Pentagon is literally the world's biggest bureaucracy, at least numbers-wise, like money-wise. So having Hegseth in charge and then having him gut the Pentagon of all the most competent people and replace them with toadies, it is falling apart over there. My older sister went in the army and came back with brain damage and missing teeth. Don't do it. Jesus Christ. And being a woman and joining the military, man. Crazy. World War II had very short ship deployments to preserve combat effectiveness. Yeah, of course. You would, generally speaking, like, yeah, the military was probably better operated on every imaginable level during World War II. If it wasn't, the Germans would have won. If the Soviet, British, and American militaries were run then by Pete Hegseth, we'd all be speaking German right now. In part because Hegseth himself is a Nazi, so he would probably... Honestly, Hegseth trying to help the Axis probably would do them more harm than good. Kind of like how the Italians ended up causing the Germans more trouble because the Germans had to go into Greece and bail out the Italians who were incompetent and couldn't occupy the fucking fishing villas effectively. And North Africa. Yeah. Greece actually went on the offensive. Yeah, because the Italians were that bad. I'm sympathetic to them though, right? Like, the Italians grew up in Italy, and then they militarily occupy Greece. You really expect them to pay the fuck attention to what's going on? In Greece? They were like, holy shit, we found home too.